Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Elevate in Spirit. Today marks the third episode of our series on financial stewardship. In the first episode, I discussed concerns about teachings on prosperity being misunderstood as promoting greed. And in the second episode, we delved into Luke chapter 16, exploring the parable of a rich man and his unfair steward. Today, we'll uncover more insights from this intriguing parable. So stick around as we continue this enlightening discussion. Let's dive into it. The unusual commendation. The 8th verse of Luke 16 stating, "The master commended the dishonest manager because he had acted shrewdly. For the people of this world are more shrewd in dealing with their own kind than are the people of the light." As we looked into it, we learned about the master's unusual response to this verse. While we were breaking down the story, we started to figure out the deep knowledge that was hidden in the steward's choices. After figuring out the different parts of this story, we tried to figure out why the unfair server was praised. The verse indicated a strange compliment from the master, which led to a search for the deeper meaning. We tried to understand the master's point of view by asking him why he would praise an unfair servant for actions that seemed questionable. Finally, looking more closely at this verse led to a better understanding of the spiritual and useful lessons hidden in the story of the unjust servant. The power of money. The master was proud that the servant had learned an important lesson. Money gives people the power to make their own future. People often don't think about how their financial decisions will affect them in the long run, because they live in a world of quick satisfaction, credit cards, and easy loans. The steward's praise came from the fact that he understood how much power money has over a person's life. The steward's wisdom stood out among the temptations of instant pleasures and easy credit choices. People don't always think about the long-term effects of their financial decisions because of how busy our society is. This parable serves as a reminder to step back and reflect on the deep connection between financial decisions and future results. Basically, the master praised the steward for understanding the deep truth that smart money management gives people the tools they need to make their futures safer and more rewarding. Avoiding debt and making wise choices. During the discussion, I talked about how I bought a house, which showed how important it is to make smart financial choices. The focus was on the possible problems that can come up with quick gratification, which, even though it seems appealing at first, often leads to debt and money problems that could have been avoided. I emphasized how important it is for people to think about the long-term effects of their financial decisions and not just focus on their current wants. The point of the story was to show how important it is to think about how your actions will affect others in the future when dealing with complicated personal finance issues. By talking about my experience, I wanted to show how choices made to reach financial goals can affect real life. The discussion emphasized how important it is to develop a mindset that values strategic financial planning over making choices on the spot. In the end, the most important thing that people learned was that they should think ahead and make sure that their financial choices are in line with their long-term goals. Jesus application. This idea is used by Jesus in Luke 16, verse 9. "I tell you, use worldly wealth to gain friends for yourselves, so that when it is gone, you will be welcomed into eternal dwellings." The main idea of the story is that you can use material wealth to make friends and make a good difference in people's lives. Giving money to good causes, helping people in need, and advancing the kingdom of God are all ways that Christians can make relationships that last beyond material things. The goal is to turn temporary wealth into investments that will last forever, with the promise that these investments will pay off in a big way in the endless homes of heaven. The main idea of the story is that you should be careful and intentional about how you spend your money so that you can make a difference and build relationships that will last forever. Eternal investments. The idea that investing in the kingdom of God pays off in ways that go beyond instant gains and last forever is emphasized in this paragraph. Financial resources should not only be used to acquire things. Instead, they should be put toward projects that have long-lasting spiritual and moral importance. It tells Christians to see their money as a way to change things that will last forever, focusing on how investments in the kingdom of God will pay off in the long run. This line basically says that people should stop thinking about earthly riches and start thinking about the eternal benefits that come from using money to help others and advance God's kingdom. Living a life of generosity. I shared the story of a friend criticized for living in a luxurious home. The focus was on his amazing response, which served as proof of the timeless truth that no one can be more generous than God. I highlighted the idea that people who give freely put themselves in a position to receive even greater blessings from God. Most of the discussion was about how kindness works both ways, showing how an open-handed way of giving brings an overflow of abundance from God. The point of the story was to show how a giving way of life can change things, showing that it not only stands up to criticism, but also makes God more likely to bless you. The purpose of telling this story was to encourage people to adopt a generous attitude, knowing that it has the power to bring them blessings and abundance. In the end, the story came back to the timeless truth that faith-based giving opens the door to God's endless riches. I want to encourage each of you to adopt a mindset of stewardship and generosity. People might think that living this way is impossible, but I'm living proof that it's not only possible, but also life-changing. Trust God and make a promise to plant seeds in His kingdom, so that you can see the big changes He can make in your life. The main point of this message is to get people to see resources differently, as tools for good care and kindness instead of just things they own. Through my own experience, I can attest to the effectiveness of this method by showing how it has changed my own journey. Develop a strong faith in God's support and plan, and know that living a generous life is a way to experience His transformative power. As you act in line with the principles of stewardship and kindness, you will be able to see your life change in amazing ways. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Financial Stewardship. Don't forget to check out the resources we have available and consider supporting our ministry. If you find this video inspiring, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. We appreciate your support. Stay tuned for more valuable insights, and remember, rest in God as your source, not in material possessions. God bless you. From Elevate in Spirit.